Hello, and welcome to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics. Today is Wednesday, 18 September. I'm your host Daniel, the founder of HM Intelligence, and every weekday we bring you not just the news, but the so what from the events and decisions that shape our world. So grab a coffee and get ready to be informed. In today's update, we'll be doing a deep dive into the Hezbollah pager attack. For those of you who haven't seen the news, or the thousands of amazing memes that have been floating around, on Tuesday, local time, pagers belonging to Hezbollah members across Lebanon and in some parts of Syria exploded in what appeared to be a coordinated attack. At least 12 people have been reported killed and over 2,800 injured, many of them seriously. So who made the pagers? After a report by the New York Times stated that the pagers were manufactured by the Taiwanese company Gold Apollo, the company issued a statement clarifying that the devices were actually manufactured in Hungary. The products were not ours. It was only that our brand was on it, said Husu Ching Klang, the founder and president of Gold Apollo, during a press conference at the company's office in New Taipei, Taiwan. Gold Apollo explained that it has licensing agreements with the Hungarian firm BAC Consulting KFT, and that the pages in question were produced and sold by BAC, as mentioned in their official statement. So how did they explode? At around 3:45 local time in Beirut, the explosions began and continued for around an hour. Witnesses reported hearing sounds like fireworks and seeing smoke coming from people's pockets. Experts believe that explosives were placed before delivery in a sophisticated supply chain infiltration. There are also rumors circulating online that the explosive was a small amount of PETN, a powerful yet volatile explosive that was placed inside each pager. According to the Reuters news agency, a senior Lebanese security official has blamed Israel's Mossad for the attack. Device attacks usually involve remote software hacks, which was initially believed to be the case in this instance, as tampering with hardware on this scale is extremely complex and rare. So why did they target pagers? Pagers were one of the first widely used wireless means of communication. They can carry simple alphanumeric or voice messages, and the militants have turned to these as their relatively low tech to evade Israeli surveillance. Nasrallah has previously warned members to avoid carrying mobile phones, which can be tracked and hacked by Israeli intelligence. A member of Hezbollah told the Associated Press that the Gold Apollo pagers were new and not a model they had used previously. So what has Hezbollah said? The group has promised to retaliate against Israel for what it has called criminal aggression. The group stated that they hold Israel fully responsible for the attack and added that Israel will certainly receive its just punishment for this sinful aggression. In another statement, the group declared that it will continue the fight for Gaza. Hezbollah's leader, Hassan Nasrallah, is scheduled to deliver a speech on the latest developments on Thursday. So what has Israel said? Israel has not yet commented on the attack. The explosions occurred shortly after an Israeli government announcement in which they stated they were expanding the objectives of its nearly year-long conflict with Hamas in Gaza to include the safe return of Israeli citizens to their homes in the north of the country near the border with Lebanon. There have been frequent clashes between Israeli security forces and Hezbollah near the Israeli-Lebanon border, which has resulted in the deaths of numerous fighters and the displacement of thousands on both sides in recent months. So since I started recording this podcast, there has been another update, which looks to be a second wave of attacks. Multiple explosions from handheld radios used by Hezbollah have been reported across Lebanon, causing at least 3 deaths and numerous injuries. One of the explosions occurred near a Hezbollah funeral for individuals killed yesterday in the pager attack. Witnesses reported hearing blasts in South Lebanon and southern suburbs of Beirut, known to be frequented by members of Hezbollah. Security sources have confirmed that widespread detonations leading to heightened concern and casualties across the country. So what? This is clearly an extremely sophisticated attack, and one that has required high levels of coordination, secrecy, and imagination. While the initial attack exhibited clear results, there are several second-order effects that Israel are highly likely currently capitalizing on. Firstly, it is likely that Israel's intelligence services have been collecting all footage, tweets, and other reporting related to people injured in this operation. This will allow them to take their time and identify as many people as possible who were carrying pages or in close proximity to them at the time of the explosion. This will allow them to create a nice target list for people closely associated with the group and members. Secondly, taking into account the second wave of attacks targeting handheld radios, it has disrupted key forms of communication for the group, and it could possibly lead to members of Hezbollah needing to revert back to using cell phones, which Israel can then target or listen into. Or it could limit their communication entirely, creating a lack of command and control in Hezbollah-dominated areas, which would allow the IDF and other Israeli security personnel to conduct more effective operations. And lastly, it has highly likely created an element of fear and distrust within the group, something Israel can capitalize on through propaganda. As I mentioned in yesterday's podcast, there is one key question that remains unanswered to me, and that is, why now? It is possible that Hezbollah were planning a large-scale attack against Israel, and this move was done to counter it. But it is also possible that Israel themselves is planning a ground assault in southern Lebanon in the coming days, and this attack is a way of disrupting command and control in preparation for it. Alternatively, there may have been a use-by date on the explosive placed inside the pager, where after time they become too volatile and it risks compromise due to unforeseen detonation. Or Israel may have thought that the plot was about to be uncovered and saw it as a last chance to initiate the attack with the element of surprise in hand. Sadly, these questions are unlikely to be answered, unless, of course, Israel invades in the next few days. Thank you for listening to the Intel Brief, your daily intelligence briefing on global geopolitics, brought to you by HM Intelligence. If you want to support the podcast, tell your friends to help them stay informed, and leave us a 5-star review. Or if you want to learn more about intelligence, why not take one of our courses? They're all online, self-paced and affordable. Thank you for listening. I've been your host, Daniel, and I'll see you next time.